So then afterwards, I went back to where Sonia was waiting for me, and she had struck up a conversation with someone who was waiting for prayer, who randomly started telling Sonia all of her problems. And this woman had written down on a Post-it note this address, and she was like, there's this seminar thing going on tonight. So Sonia was like, there's this seminar at this other church if you're interested in going. And I was like, what? I don't know. It's already getting close to like 10 o'clock p.m. and Derek's going to be so mad that I'm not home yet. And I need to get Sonia at home and in bed. And I just felt bad being out so long. And I was like, I don't know. But I ended up directing us there anyway. And I wasn't even sure why, because sometimes I feel like a nudging to do something like that. I'm not even sure I felt a nudging. I just went. And when we got there, we were coming in on the end of this seminar talk, and I was like, what are we even here for? And it turns out that the woman giving the talk has been healed of cancer twice, and she has like a special anointing, a special gifting to heal, to ask for healing for people with cancer. And Sonia knew that, and she didn't tell me because she thought if I wasn't interested in going, then we just shouldn't go. So anyways, afterwards they asked people to come down for prayer. So Sonia pushed me down the aisle to go get prayer, and I sort of awkwardly waited in a sideline for one of the 5 people up there to pray for me, and one of the guys did. And then he said, again, I felt my knees buckle a couple times, and then he said, okay, now I really want you to get prayed for by Maria, the woman who was giving the talk, now that I know that why you're here, because she has a special anointing for this thing. And I was like, okay. So then they like boosted me up to the front of the line for her prayer. And then she got to me and she brought me over to a empty-ish area. And she was like, what's your name? And I was like, Trisha. And she was like, why are you here? And I was like, cancer. And she's like, boy, I like that you're smiling while you say that. And I laughed, and she's like, come on, Jesus. Yeah, you're smiling a lot. And I laughed again. So then she started to pray for me. And I was like closing my eyes, feeling that presence of God. My knees started to buckle again. And I kept snapping my eyes open and looking at her like I'm about to fall over. And she was like, there was a man praying for me, standing behind me, holding onto my back. And she was like, kind of just like, just go with it. Like, just feel the presence of God and just go with it. And so I went with it. I've never been slain in the spirit ever before. I've had someone pray over me to be slain in the spirit before. Like it was a conference or something. And I just didn't get it. I didn't feel it. But this time I did. So I don't remember like if you decide to just go limp or numb, you would remember like someone like trust falling into someone's arms, right? I don't remember laying down or how that worked. I don't remember it. I remember when my head was on the carpet and all of a sudden there were these bright lights over my eyelids, and I thought, oh man, why did they lay me down in this area that has these really bright lights? Like I wanted to shield my eyes. And then later when I opened my eyes, I realized there are no bright lights directly above me. The ceiling is like as tall as like Westgate's ceiling, and the lights were like can lights, not like these giant hanging. It was like way up there, and it was like dim. It was dim in the room. But anyway, so I'm slain in the spirit. I'm laying there, and I see these bright lights, and I felt the overwhelming presence of God, and my heart started racing out of control. And I remember thinking, why is my heart beating so fast? Am I okay? Like I never felt it just like beat like that before. And I was like, it's hard to describe, but I was like entering into these different zones of lights. And every time I did, involuntarily my jaw would drop, and I would start to shake a little bit. And I was like in awe of whatever was happening. And I would walk into these rooms of bright light and there was nothing. And I remember thinking, why is there nothing? And then so I said, God, show me something. What do you have for me here? What do you have to show me? Show me something. And he showed me a vision of the twins as teenagers plopping down on a couch in a very specific room that I've never seen before and we've never been in before, but I remember these odd details about it. And I was there. The thing was, I was there and they were teenagers, which God intends for me to live far beyond when they're teenagers, but that's just a step in the right direction. And anyways, then I also had a flashback of the vision of the anointing of the daughter of the king thing. And then I felt this intense heat. And I thought to myself, it must be because these bright lights are right in my face. And I have this intense heat right here in my face and in the front part of my head. And I wasn't thinking at all about where I was feeling the heat or anything. I was so confused. Nothing like this has ever happened to me before, and I haven't really heard that many people describe it. So I felt this really intense heat, and that lasted, I'm not sure how long that lasted. I'm not sure how long any of this lasted, really. And hold on, I need to pause.